I firmly believe in the entire idea behind the Agnipath recruitment scheme. Well, it's unfortunate to see the chaos that's happening in the country right now, and it's unfortunate that we already lost a life in this. But I understand that all this is happening purely because of uncertainty or unawareness among the nation's youth. They have to start believing the fact that serving in the army is not a job. Serving in the army is a responsibility. And you should not see this as another government job or other sector where you work for 25 to 30 years and get your all retirement benefits. It doesn't matter how you serve in the army. It doesn't matter how long you serve in the army. What really matters is how much you are able to give to your country. And once you are out of it after 4 years with all whatever money government gives you, I'm not sure if you will be able to find a job or something, but I'm pretty sure you will be able to lead an inspirational life, and that is something that the government is aiming for right now. Thank you. Jai Hind.
First of all, I condemn the violent protests that are taking place because violence is never an answer. But is it an acceptable solution? No, it's not. If the dream is to serve for country by joining the armed forces, this is not a definition of serving the country. In my opinion, where I find this scheme to be problematic is the tenure, because this scheme provides for the tenure of 4 years, and after the retirement, 75% of Agniveers will be unemployed, and that raises the concern, because with the military training, these soldiers can become mercenaries, and it might increase the crime rate, because it has happened in Syria. And Agniveers will be in the armed forces in the age where it is a crucial time to get education, a formal education. As they are little educated, there will be fewer jobs at their disposal. And the current scenario is that most of the retired army non-commissioned soldiers are doing job of security guards, and it is not a better option. There was a scheme similar to Agnipath in US, but the results shocked me that 11% of unemployed Americans were consisted of army veterans. And other thing that concerns me is that how does a tenure of 4 years will suffice to train a soldier of a good quality? Because according to retired officer, it takes at least 7 to 8 years to train the soldier. And the reasons that those are given by the government to implement this scheme is where I have little doubt. First, the reason that they gave is that the average age of army, which is 32.2 years, will be reduced. It is understood, but cutting down soldiers' pension and salaries for modernization of army, it seems to be little irrational. If it is logical, then why not to cut the salaries of MP and MLA who just become MP and MLA for one tenure and they get lifelong pensions? Even it is said that 55% of defense budget is spent on salaries and pensions. It is very true that we need modernization because 60% of our equipments are outdated. We have only 8% state-of-the-art equipment. But what we need to think is that modernization at what cost? Government needs to rethink about this scheme. Thank you.
My opinion about the Agnipath scheme, I think it is a good initiative by the government, but everything at the end comes down to the implementation and communication with the masses, and to which the current government doesn't hold a very good track record, and because of which we have already seen many protests in the past. Coming back to the opinion that I hold on the scheme, I think it was very much necessary on the part of the government, as they are trying to reduce the average age of our defense forces, also trying to cut short on the pensions that they are giving, as according to the current report, the nearly 23% of the defense budget goes on to paying the pension to the soldiers. And for the Agniveers, the soldiers that will be joining, I think it gives a early career option to them. 4 years of military training, the kind of discipline, skills that they will develop, and the recent update that the government has given, reservation in CAPF, state government jobs, etc. Also, they can also get their diplomas or graduation done during the course of 4 years. So when they come out, they'll have good amount of money in their hands. They can start a business. They can do some. They can also become entrepreneurs. And apart from all these, they'll have their graduation certificates by which they can go into other jobs also. But not everything is right on this scheme. I think how the job vacancies that were vacant from 2020 of the Air Force XY group has been totally been cancelled. Even after the medicals, everything was done. I think that was a really wrong step. Also, directly recruiting 45 to 46,000 soldiers, I think that should have been done in a phased manner. Like initially it should have been done 4,000, 5,000, like step by step it should have been, but it is not done in that way. Recruiting so many people at a time, of course it will create a panic in the mind of the students that are aspiring to be a army person. And other than that, the implementation and the communication is very essential for such sensible schemes to be implemented. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My opinion on Agnipath scheme is that it is of course a great initiative but with few shortcomings. I believe the policy makers wanted not only to reduce the amount of money spent on the pensions and medical benefits given to the Faujis, but also to reduce the manpower. Previously, as around 60,000 people used to retire and 60,000 people were intaken to the Fauj, this year 46,000 vacancies are left. And similarly, out of which 25% would be retained. So that means around 12,000 people would be retained and remaining people would be let out. Even after giving 10% reservations in CAPF and state government, nearly 20 to 25,000 people would be let out in the society. These Faujis are completely combat trained, and the right usage of these people would be of great asset to the country. My opinion on this is that the complete nullification of the results of last 2 years, I think, was unnecessary. And lastly, the people who protested by vandalizing trains and destroying public property was of course not necessary. Peaceful protest and right usage of opposition could have given some spine to the protest. Thank you.